So hi all, this is a lightning talk on implementing advanced deployment using Spinnaker and Canary. A little about me, I'm currently working as SD2 in Expedia. I've contributed in FOSS Asia as an open source contributor, and in my free time I like to blogs and give talks. So you can find me on these platforms under the handle Champion Paddler. So bad deployments are unavoidable, but definitely we can reduce the damage. So here are deployment strategy we have available in the market. First one is a recreate deployment. The simplest one, we just uh, delete all the available, delete all the available service and we launch the new version in the servers. So we have a downtime in the recreate deployment. Then we have a blue-green deployment. And basically in this deployment, we create an entirely copy stack and we gradually shift the traffic to the newer version. Third one we have is the ramp deployment, in which we gradually shift the traffic, but by server, rather than creating an identical stack. And the most used in the market is the canary deployment. So rather than completely shifting the traffic, we just shift 5% of traffic or less than the percentage. You have questions? Okay. So here are the metrics we can have on analysis. So that is latency on the errors, then the traffic and the saturation. So basis on these metrics, we analyze whether the deployment that we are doing is a good deployment or a bad deployment. So here are the steps for the canary. We do the collection part, and then we check whether data is available or not. In case there are missing data, we go for the handling empty data. Then we do the comparison, and then we do the score computation. This can be done both automatic and manual. So it totally depends on the implementation we do. Then there is how Expedia deploys. So currently, we were doing on the blue-green deployment. Now we have introduced the progressive deployments. That is a advanced version built on the top of Spinnaker and Canary. So fact that the total loss of Expedia in the revenue due to changes is 25%. So that is like a quite huge amount for Expedia. And as we are progressing and there will be multiple deployments, these deployments will definitely have issues. So we need to reduce that. We need to reduce that issues. So what is a progressive deployment? So first of all, it is a similar to canary deployment, but yeah, the traffic shift we do is in multiple stages that we have in place. And it is built in the top of Spinnaker. So as you can see on the right-hand side, we have two stacks that are available. RCP is the in-house stack of Expedia. Second one is ECS that we are using, that is provided by AWS. And whenever there is a deployment and any updates, we do the notification on Slack and also on ServiceNow, so that we get to know using emails. So here is a quick difference. So if we see on left-hand side, that is a canary. We initiate the step, do a traffic shift. For example, we do a 5% shift of traffic. Then we check and validate like the deployment is going fine or not. And we do the judgment and promote 100% traffic shift. Or we do a rollback if it is a faulty one. In the progress deployment, rather than doing this judgment only once, we do that in multiple stages. So that's why that is a progressive. So you can control the stages, whether you can do for 5 times or 10 times. It is totally up to you how much percentage you want to shift. So here is a demo. Let me show you a demo for that.
This is a demo for progressive deployments. This is my pipeline, and now I will deploy a faulty commit. Yeah, so if I expand, so here are the steps. It will deploy to lab, then it will deploy to end. So these are lower environments. After that, here is the step of progressive deployment execution. Here we'll be shifting traffic in two shifts. First, in first we'll shift 25% traffic, and then we will see if we are facing any errors on dashboard. And then if there are no errors, then we will move to 50% traffic shift. So as here there will be error on 25% traffic shift, so we'll be rolling back. So let's see how it happens. So right now it deploy lab stage. Let's wait till it moves to progressive deploy execution stage. So now it has deployed to lab and our integration environment. This is the step for progressive deployment execution. It has started, and this is a 25% shift that is taking place. We have multiple steps, and over this step, we'll be shifting the traffic until this is doing other operations. So let's see on the dashboard if we see any error. So this is the TPS, and these are the PD matrix. So if we see on all of the three, primary, base, and candy, there are no errors coming up because right now, till now, traffic is not shifted. So we will see how it will change when traffic starts shifting on this step. So this step will be waiting for total 25% traffic shift. So now 25% traffic shift is done. If we see, Canary has like 38 errors. So we can see in the new deployment we are facing the errors, whereas for primary baseline there is no errors coming up. So like previous version was stable, new version has faulty. So even Canary versus baseline, we see Camry one has the error, whereas the baseline is stable one. Now over the pipeline, we see we have moved to we get two options: approve or reject. As 25% traffic is shifted, we can either approve and it will move to shifting 50% of traffic, else we can reject and it will move to the failure state and then it will go to the rollback. So let's reject as our commit is faulty and we are doing manual judgment over here, and let's go to reject. Let's reject this. Yeah, so now it went to the failure state and now it is going to the rollback state. Now it will be doing the rollback task that we have defined for that stage. So this is how TD works. We have multiple Henry's traffic shift overs here, and we can approve or reject at every step. So this is the major difference between PD and Henry. Yeah.
Yeah, so Expedia has also open source projects. You can check it out, open source projects by Expedia. Yeah, thank you. Any questions? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there is a rollback stage. Sorry. Yeah, we go back at this stage after failure. It will be going to rollback stage. So we have existing stack available. We will just roll back. Yeah. So any more questions? Yeah, it is a custom plugin built by Expedia. Yeah. No, right now that is a debate topic we are having in the organization only. So like as we have a very high traffic, and like even a traffic shift of 1 and 2% that gets affected, we have a very bad customer experience, and we are like handling very like high customers. So we right now are moving with manual judgment only, but we are experimenting. that we can go with automating it. So hopefully in the future, we will be moving to a complete automation. Yeah. Yeah. So for our service, actually, we are right now currently migrating to RCP only. So that we are right now in the shifting stage for RCP. Then we will be implementing that this one, progressive deployments. But for other services, I think they are currently using it. So like 326 services are onboarded on the progressive deployments. But I think with this, we don't need to have rollback. That is the trust we have. So RCP is a custom infrastructure that we build up on top of Kubernetes. So right now what happens is for multiple services, we get allotted a number of instances, but we are not utilizing them completely. So if we take large instances, like MX large, that is one of the instances on AWS, but our utilization is shifting because in the PST time zone, we have the huge traffic. But when it comes to IST time zone, we have the least traffic because most of the customers are in the US only. So in that cases, and also for services which are like tier 1 services in Expedia, we have fixed number of instances. So we don't descale. So we can see that there is an infrastructure cost that we can reduce definitely. So RCP is the infrastructure layer that mandates and controls and automatically scales services basically. So that was the main purpose of introducing RCP. So everyone follows a fixed standard and resources can be utilized properly. Because infrastructure cost is quite high, so we are trying to reduce that using RCP. Any more questions? Yeah. Yeah, Spinnaker is centralized. As you can see in the hold on. Yeah, that is centralized, and we handle using application name. So you can go over and search your application. Yeah, that's it.